President Uhuru Kenyatta on Thursday made history by becoming the first African head of state to be hosted by President Joe Biden at the White House since the American leader took over office in January this year. Jeff Koinange covered that historic moment in Washington, D.C. and brings us the details.
Leaders are familiar with each other, having met several years ago under the Obama administration. Back then, President Joe Biden was vice president. This time around, President Biden using the occasion to announce the U.S. is donating 17 million new doses of the COVID vaccine to the African Union. Already, the U.S. has donated 2.8 million doses to Kenya alone as part of the overall 50 million doses to the African Union.
We're continuing our shared fight against COVID. The United States has donated 2.8 million doses of vaccine to Kenya as part of a 50 million doses we've donated to the African Union. And I'm proud to announce that today that we're making an additional historic one-time donation of 17 more million doses of J&J vaccine to the AU. And we're going to be sending some more by the end of the year to Kenya.
Besides COVID-19, the leaders also discussed the global fight against terrorism, climate change, as well as trade and investment, among other subjects of mutual interest to Kenya and the U.S. The White House meeting was a culmination of President Kenyatta's successful official visit of the U.S., during which he chaired his first United Nations Security Council meeting at the UN headquarters in New York.
We're also very closely partnering, especially in regard to the fight against terrorism globally. The United States has been a very strong partner to Kenya in that particular fight, and this is an area, again, I am hoping to have an opportunity to further discuss with the President. We are also keenly and very grateful with his strong position, especially with regard to climate change. This is an area where Kenya has made tremendous progress in her own right, and where we are firmly committed to the Paris Agreement, and we're glad to see the United States has now rejoined.
There is one important item on the table that was also going to be discussed. It's known as the Free Trade Agreement, or the FTA. First time ever between the U.S. and Kenya. Now, this started off on a high several months ago, and many here thought it would be signed and operational beginning of this year. That's no longer the case. In fact, some economists here say it's currently on ice. It'll have to be jump-started, and if so, will become a whole new game changer when it comes to trade relations between the U.S. and Kenya. Jeff Koinange, Citizen Television, New York.